This is Leon, and I want to talk about how I look at particular specific people uh, within my world, and basically how, depending on the type of form they have, I will go into a certain reaction, and that reaction basically. The outflow of that reaction is a different type of behavior, different type of attitude uh, to and towards that individual that I express, um, that I believe I am within that moment. Um, there was one time I was at the grocery store and there was a particular person, and I immediately changed uh, behaviors, uh, changed my attitude to reflect my disposition based on that individual, so based on how I judge that individual's form. So basically, it is a point that has to be transcended because everyone that I see, there is a different face, a different personality, a different set of behavioral attributes and attitudes and temperament. And so basically, where is in fact the stability within that to stand as self? Who is this self? As who I am. If this self constantly and continuously changes over when I encounter a different type of physical human form, you know, which one of those personalities is myself? And so it is a point of actually not finding myself, because then I am finding something in separation that I believe is separate from me, but is actually becoming that stability. And to become that stability, one has to, in fact, introspect, investigate why does self keep going into these different types of behavior, constructs and personalities. As per, for instance, anger would be a personality system subset. Any kind of emotional feeling, anxiety, happiness, etc. But when happiness is triggered by physical form, or it's triggered by a switch in a particular movement, or a switch in the environment, there's something quite precarious when it comes to existing as that particular behavior within that moment. And so it is a point of actually stabilizing myself. And here I will do a written blog about this point. But first, I just want to do self-forgiveness from a different perspective, which is the perspective of doing video. And so there I can get a different perspective on this point. And so I forgive myself. In other words, I release myself. I release myself. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to participate in the design of and as the fear of survival as form. And I will post a video about what I mean when I say I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to participate in the design. I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to participate in the design of and as the fear of survival as form. Fearing Okay, if I don't know the fear, I look at the desire. What is the desire? Desire is to get attention from someone. Thus, I change my personality behavior to fit their personality behavior, or what and how I perceive themselves to be. So therefore, does fear not getting any attention from a person? And so, with that fear, what am I existing as? I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to doubt whether I am the one that is carried or defined by the social status of and as myself through and as my interaction with other individuals based on how I interact with other individuals, or whether I'm the one that stands within and as stability in every moment of breath. And so that doubt is actually a split, where I split myself into two. Who am I? Am I this? Am I these personality subsets, or am I self-directive? And so, if I doubt self-direction, it's not a real, actual self-direction. It is a fraudulent self-directiveness, but it is to, in fact, stand as actual stability through reconstituting oneself, one's integrity of self, one's wholeness of self, through seeing, realizing, and understanding these personality subsets, how and why they were created, the origin and the outflow. Within this, I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to blame the physical form. Because if I didn't blame the physical form, I wouldn't have a reaction to it. Therefore, I forgive myself that I've accepted and allowed myself to blame the physical form for creating different types of physical forms that I can react to. And so make the excuse that I have to survive as the personality through wanting and needing attention, thus justifying my position as a slave to my own mind, to my own reactions of emotions and feelings. Therefore, I commit myself to investigate myself, to investigate who I am within and as these personality subsets that I participate in. To investigate those, the starting point, and to within that investigation, I can correct myself within that. I can correct myself to become the living word. In other words, to live as who I am, as the word stability, rather than living as a reaction or as a response to stability within the changes of personality, behavioral attributes, through an as stability within change, in other words, which is what I do when and as I change personalities based on the particular specific form that I am seeing within that moment. There's stability within instability, which is not in a real, actual, in fact, stability. And so, therefore, that is my commitment. And I will leave you with that.